Hello, my name is Liam Carruthers, and today I will be doing the debate of the federal government should not be able to collect metadata, but I will be arguing against that, as the federal government should be able to continue to collect metadata as my position. To start, I wanted to talk a little bit about the introduction of what is metadata and what is the collection of metadata, especially in the terms of why is the federal government collecting metadata. In a nutshell, metadata is the data that provides information about other data, or in more simpler terms, it is data about data. Metadata is used to summarize basic information about data, which can make tracking and working with specific data easier. Its uses may include data found and tracked with photographs, telecommunications, or talking on the phone, video, or geospatial metadata, otherwise known as data that is location-based. A little bit about the history of metadata and this collection of it. All started with the aftermaths of the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. In the aftermath of these attacks to the United States in New York City, the executive branch of the United States government has employed programs that collect domestic telephone metadata: who you call and get calls from, how long those calls last, what internet provider and service provider you're using, etc. And one of the most widely known organizations for collecting this data, and the primary organization that is collecting this data for the federal government, is the NSA, or the National Security Agency, and their program entitled PRISM. This program, PRISM, is collecting internet communications from various U.S. internet companies. This program, PRISM, began in 2007 during the passing of the Protect America Act under the George W. Bush administration. Why is the NSA's gathering of metadata important? One might ask, and one of the opposition side might ask as well. One of the biggest arguments as to why the federal government should continue to collect and observe the metadata found within the files of American citizens is that it allows the NSA, the National Security Agency, to track and follow the acts and communications of two or more suspects who have communicated or coordinated during or after a criminal incident. Brad Wigman, on behalf of the United States Justice Department, in a judiciary hearing held on November 6, 2019, stated that because the metadata around such communications is typically not encrypted, the government's collection would be legal under either the Call Detail Records Program and the Business Records provision contained in Section 215 of the Patriot Act, therefore making it legal in such circumstances. While at the same time, as other government officials downplay the value of this data and the collection of this data, metadata collected, research has shown that, and research have warned the federal government and officials in the government, as well as us as American citizens, researchers have warned us that this collection can uncover detailed information about the habits and the behaviors of targeted individuals. So in other words, the collection of this data from our photos, our telecommunication, our videos, our location from our phones and our personal devices. This helps the National Security Agency continue to track the communications between targeted individuals in domestic threats here in the United States, in crime-specific scenarios. Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI, Michael Orlando, described this provision as a building block authority used during the early stages of an investigation to, quote, build our case against national security threats, and then later obtain authorization for more targeted surveillance activities such as wiretaps. So, as we can see here, Michael Orlando, the Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, is telling us that through the collection of this data from one's individual phone, computer, and other resources such as that, and other pieces of technology like that, they are able to track the communications and actions, potential actions of a national security threat or a threat here at home, any domestic threat, so that in the end they can try to get ahead of what could happen and what could go down in prevention of other serious attacks, such as what we saw on September 11th and others, and other attacks such as that. And like he said, it is to build our case against those national security threats, to get ahead of it, to prevent it. And in conclusion, the collection of this data, the collection of this metadata and these records found and collected by the NSA through the American Citizen's cell phone and other technological resources such as this collection of metadata by the federal government has been a wide controversy that has been widely debated across within the United States of America. While many argue that the privacy against the privacy of the American people is at stake here, is being threatened here. But like stated earlier, one of the number one reasons that this collection of metadata is still being used and was created, it is used through these platforms such as the NSA, the National Security Council, so that the FBI is able to monitor and as well collect vital information in the cases of threats to national security and domestic threats during a criminal investigation, such as what two targeted individuals or more are communicating to each other so that the United States law enforcement can get ahead of them and later apprehend them to prevent them from committing crimes and becoming more of a threat and committing terrorist actions and activities. And through the collection of this metadata, it is easier to track and monitor those activities. So I believe that it is necessary that we must continue to use this collection while it is still widely debated and the federal government is still deciding what is best for the American people. I think that the reasons that we have this collection of metadata by the United States government is, while widely controversial, also important in the collection of information of potential national security threats and domestic security threats as well. Thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you so much.